Have you ever had that feeling? A quiet, nagging sense that something isn't quite right. It's not loud. It's not a billboard or a flashing sign. It's a whisper, easily drowned out by the noise of the world. The deadlines, the expectations, the endless scroll of other people's seemingly perfect lives. We get so good at ignoring it, don't we? We tell ourselves it's just stress, or that we're being ungrateful. We tell ourselves to just keep going. But that whisper, it's persistent. It's the voice of a part of you that you may have forgotten. The most important part, the real you. And it's asking a very simple, very brave question. Is this life truly mine? There was a guide, a mapmaker of the human soul, named Carl Jung, and he believed that this feeling, this gentle, sometimes unsettling whisper, is not something to be ignored. He saw it as our soul, our truest self, calling us to come home. And so, this conversation we're about to have isn't just about philosophy. It's a practical guide. It's an invitation to finally, bravely, and without apology, choose yourself. Jung understood something fundamental about our modern world even a century ago. He saw that we are constantly pulled outward. We're taught from a young age to seek validation from outside ourselves, from our parents, our teachers, our friends, and now from strangers on the internet. We build a life based on shoulds. I should take that job. I should stay in this relationship. I should want these things that everyone else seems to want. And with every should we honor, we send a subtle message to ourselves. My own needs, my own desires, they can wait. We learn to silence our own intuition in favor of applause. Think about it for a moment. How many times this week have you said yes when your entire being was screaming no? How many times have you put on a smile, a mask, to make someone else more comfortable while feeling a little piece of yourself fade away? This isn't a judgment. It's a shared human experience. We do this because we're taught that pleasing others is a virtue. But Jung proposed a radical, almost revolutionary idea. He said that choosing yourself is not selfish. In fact, it is the most generous thing you can do. Because only when you are living in alignment with your own truth can you offer the world the gift of your true, whole, and authentic self. Anything else is just a performance. And performances, as we all know, are exhausting. That feeling of being drained, of being spread too thin, that isn't a sign of failure. It's a compass. It's your soul telling you that you've given away too much of your energy to things that do not feed you. It's a call to return to the source, to your source. So how do we begin? How do we start listening to that whisper? Jung's first instruction is perhaps the most challenging. He asks us to turn around and face what he called the shadow. Now, the word shadow sounds scary, doesn't it? It conjures images of darkness and evil, but that's not what he meant at all. Your shadow is not a monster. It is simply the parts of yourself that you have hidden away. It's the anger you were taught was unladylike, the vulnerability you were told was weak, the creative passion you dismissed as silly or unrealistic. It's all the beautiful, messy human parts of you that you decided, at some point, were not acceptable to show to the world, so you pushed them down into the dark. But Jung knew that what we resist persists. When we fight our shadow, we give it power. It doesn't go away. Instead, it projects itself onto the world. The things that irritate you most in other people, the judgments you hold most strongly. Jung would say, with gentle wisdom, that you are often looking at a reflection of your own disowned self. The journey home, the act of choosing yourself, begins with turning on the light. It's looking into that hidden part of your heart and saying, I see you. You are welcome here. It's about integrating, not fighting. It's about understanding that your anger has a message, your sadness has a story, your fear has a lesson. When you start to embrace these hidden parts, something miraculous happens. The energy you spent holding them down is liberated. It becomes your power, your clarity, your peace. You stop being afraid of what's inside you, and in doing so, you become unshakable. It is the first, most crucial step in reclaiming your own story. Once we begin to understand what we've hidden in the shadow, we can start to notice the opposite. We can see the mask we present to the world. Jung had a name for this too. He called it the persona. The persona is the polished version of you. It's your job title, your social media profile, your role as a parent, a friend, or a professional. It is the face you put on to navigate the world smoothly. And let's be clear, this mask is not inherently bad. It's a necessary tool. It helps us interact, cooperate, and fit into society. We all need one. The danger arises when the mask sticks to the skin, when we forget we are wearing it at all. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like an imposter, where you worried that if people saw the real you, behind the capable exterior, they would be disappointed? That is the feeling of being lost in your persona. It's the exhaustion that comes from constantly holding up a heavy, flawless mask, terrified that a crack might appear. Our modern world, more than ever, encourages us to fuse with this mask. We curate our lives into a gallery of smiling photos and career achievements. We filter out the messy, the uncertain, the human. The result is a quiet epidemic of loneliness, of people performing perfection while aching for genuine connection. Choosing yourself means gently, lovingly, prying that mask off when you are in a safe space. It's the act of letting yourself be messy, letting yourself be tired, letting yourself be uncertain. It's the radical act of showing your true face, first to yourself and then to those you trust. You may fear rejection, but what you will find, more often than not, is the opposite. You will find true belonging, because connection cannot happen between a person and a mask. It can only happen between two souls. So we have the shadow, the parts we hide, and we have the persona, the part we show. The journey of choosing yourself is the process of bringing these two into a beautiful, harmonious balance. Jung called this lifelong quest individuation. It sounds like a complex, academic term, but its meaning is the most natural thing in the world. It is the process of becoming more and more of who you truly are. Think of an acorn. Everything it needs to become a mighty oak tree is already inside it. It doesn't try to become a pine tree or a willow. It simply, against all resistance, grows into itself. Individuation is our human version of that. It is the journey of unbecoming everything that isn't you, so you can become who you were meant to be all along. This is not a journey with a finish line. There is no final destination called authenticity, where you arrive and receive a certificate. It is a continuous, unfolding process. There will be days of profound clarity, and there will be days when old habits and fears pull you back. There will be resistance, both from within yourself and from a world that may be uncomfortable with your growth. Please hear this. That resistance is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are moving. True growth only happens at the edge of your comfort zone. Every time you choose your inner truth over external approval, you strengthen your connection to your real self. Every time you face a fear, you reclaim a piece of your own power. This path is not about becoming a perfect person. It's about becoming a whole person. It's about having the courage to hold your light and your shadow, your strengths and your weaknesses, and to love yourself not in spite of the messy parts, but because of them. That is the work of a lifetime, and it is the most rewarding work you will ever do. This all sounds profound, but how do we do it? How, in a practical sense, do we begin to listen to that inner whisper amid the shouting of the world? The answer is both simple and challenging. You have to create moments of silence. You have to create space. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through journaling, not for an audience, not to write something beautiful, but to have an honest conversation with yourself. Take a pen and paper and gently ask your inner self some questions. What do I need right now? What is this feeling of anxiety trying to tell me? What in my life feels heavy and what feels light? Then write without judgment. Let the words flow, even if they don't make sense. You are opening a line of communication to your own unconscious mind. Another way is to spend time in nature. There is a reason we feel a sense of peace in a forest or by the ocean. Nature doesn't rush. It doesn't judge. It simply is. By surrounding yourself with that energy, you disconnect from the frantic pace of the human world and you allow your own inner rhythm to surface. The whisper is easier to hear when it's not competing with traffic and notifications. And pay attention to your intuition. Jung believed intuition was one of our purest forms of knowing. It's that gut feeling, that inexplicable sense that you should take a different route home, or that you should call a friend, or that a new opportunity, despite looking perfect on paper, is wrong for you. We are taught to dismiss this as illogical, but your intuition is your soul's compass. It is connected to a wisdom far deeper than your rational mind. Start small. Trust it in little things. The more you listen to it and act on it, the stronger and clearer it will become. You are rebuilding a sacred trust with yourself. As you begin this practice, something quiet and magical starts to happen. As you align your inner world, your outer world begins to shift to match it. Jung called this synchronicity. These are the meaningful coincidences, the moments that feel too perfect to be random. You think of a friend you haven't seen in years, and they call you that afternoon. You are struggling with a problem, and the answer appears in a book you randomly pick up. This isn't you controlling the universe. It is the universe responding to your clarity. When you are on your authentic path, it is as if the world conspires to help you, placing the right people, the right opportunities, and the right insights in your way. The fog begins to lift. This journey, the one of choosing yourself, is the ultimate act of coming home. It's the end of the exhausting search for validation outside of yourself, because you realize the only approval you ever really needed was your own. It is the realization that everything you were searching for, the peace, the love, the feeling of belonging, was within you all along. The freedom that comes from this is immense. It is the breaking of invisible chains, the chains of other people's expectations, of society's shoulds, and of your own self-imposed limitations. You discover that your true power does not lie in being what the world wants you to be. Your true power lies in the quiet, courageous, simple act of being who you are. So I will leave you with a question, the same one your soul has been whispering to you. What is one small step you can take today to choose yourself? Because life, your real life, truly begins the moment you decide to come home.